Hi, it's Steph, and today I'm going to put together my spring porch pots. Now, what I like to do a little bit differently is that I prefer to use perennials versus annuals. Now, the difference between the perennials and the annuals are that annuals will typically give you color all season long, where perennials will bloom for a short period and then kind of peter out. But the perennials that I chose today, I think are ones that will last me a little bit longer until I then change them out for the summer containers. And I did go ahead and pick up one small annual, which is a pansy, but I only paid $1.98 each one. So I feel like it's okay. I can, it wasn't that big of an investment. I'll just pop these in there, and then it's easy enough to just take them out and replace them with some kind of summer plant when the time comes. The plants that I'm going to use in these containers are this scabiosa or pincushion flower, and this one is called Butterfly Blue. Now I have this in my garden actually. I bought some last year, and this is a prolific bloomer. It bloomed for me all the way from spring, like right now. It already has some blooms on it, and I maybe only deadheaded it a couple of times, which is meaning deadheading means to cut out your spent blooms. And this thing bloomed for me until the frost. So really long season bloomer. So what I did was I picked up 2 more of these, and I'm going to use them in these containers, and I'm hoping that I'll still be able to use them in here throughout the summer. The other plant that I picked up is this, it is called Candy Tuft. Now I've never had this plant before, but it's really cute. It almost looks like a baby's breath. It's a white bloom, and I believe this is also it's a spring and summer bloomer. So I think with a regular deadheading, a couple of times throughout the summer, I might be able to get a long bloom season out of this as well. So I thought that these looked really nice together, the purple with the white. And the pansy that I picked is like a mauve color, and I did have to deadhead it. I pinched it to see if it would get a little bushier, and I have one bloom coming up here. But once this starts blooming, I think that mauvey pink color with the white and the purple will look really nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a coffee filter at the bottom of my pot because there's a drain hole, and I always do this when I'm planting up containers and adding soil because I don't want my soil to just leave the container when I'm watering it. It makes such a mess. And so what I do is I put 1 or 2 coffee filters layered at the bottom, and then I throw in my potting soil, and that will prevent the runoff of the soil out of the pot. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add some potting mix at the base, at the bottom. Then I'll start adding my plants, and I will pack in more potting soil around the plant. And we'll see what they look like, and if they need anything else, we might have to go out in the yard and hunt for some more fillers. Edge and stick this in the front. Fill this with dirt. I'm going to throw a little bit of all-purpose fertilizer into the container, and this will provide some food for the plant while it's in here. So I have finished putting the plants that I had into my containers, and I feel like they could use a little something. So I'm going to go out into my garden and see what I can find that I can add to these pots. I have a couple of options that I'm going to use from this bed. The first thing that I'm considering is using this lamium. I think it's really nice. Lamium is also known as dead nettle, and I think that the leaves are nice because they have a pretty contrast. But I have this color, and I also have the yellow. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the yellow. So I'm just going to dig up a little bit, and I'm going to add it to that pot. Right on the side of my golden dead nettle or lamium, I have this burgundy glow ajuga, and it's looking so pretty right now. It's actually starting to bloom, and the blooms are a really nice shade of blue. I love this ground cover. It's probably my favorite. And it transplants really easily, so I'm probably going to dig up quite a few pieces of it and kind of spread it along this bed. While I was walking around the yard trying to find something else to just add to the containers, I thought that I would show you my home nursery real quick. This is like my holding pen where I keep plants that I'm buying for projects in the yard and that I haven't had a chance to plant. I still have Miss Kim lilac that I need to plant out. I had this in a container last year, and this is an absolutely beautiful lilac. I also have those Japanese holly that I bought the other day when I did my boxwood video. And down here I have a bunch of plants that are going to make their way into the landscape this year. There is some Midnight Masquerade penstemon and these blue sedum ground cover, as well as this sea thrift, and then I have some Jacob's Ladder that I recently picked up, some Lady's Mantle, and some what's the name of this again? Helene von Steen Lamb's Ear. So all of these are going to be planted out shortly in the next few weeks, but I thought that blue sedum ground cover might also be a nice addition to the spring container. So I'm going to bring it out front and I'm going to see what they look like in the pot. We may or may not use it. Here's the golden dead nettle that or the lamium that I just took out of the back bed, and I think it will add a nice pop of yellow. We'll have the pansy on this side with the pink, and then this yellow foliage on this side. I also have this green, or blue I should say, blue spruce sedum that could work, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use this yet. I'm going to go ahead and plant the lamium and see what that looks like. So I decided not to use the blue sedum. I think that just the yellow will be plenty once they start kind of filling out. So the dead nettle should do just a good job of being a spiller in this container. So we're going to stop there. As it is, we have 4 things in here. We have the pansy, the candy tuft, the scabiosa, butterfly blue, pincushion flower, and then this golden dead nettle. So here they are. They might not look great yet, but they will. In a couple of weeks, they will rebound from all of this tugging and pulling that I just did to get them into the container, and they'll stop flushing out and they'll look beautiful. So here in the front is my dead nettle, which is yellow and should fill in that area really well and contrast nicely against the green. There I have the candy tuft and the scabiosa pincushion flower. And on this side is a pansy that is a pink mauve color. So I think this will look really beautiful in another week or 2. So the containers are done, or the pots, and so I think they look really nice. They're going to look even better in a couple of days once they've recovered, and I will show you an update once they flush out. And also I have this heather here that I had originally bought as an option for the containers. I've never had heather before, but it's actually a really pretty plant and blooms really early in late winter, so I thought it was a great option to have in my landscape, so I picked these up. So I'm actually going to leave these here even though they're in the nursery pot, because they look really pretty in this grouping with the tulips. So I'm really happy with the way that it looks, so we're going to leave it. I have a couple of cool videos coming up. I'm actually visiting a tulip farm tomorrow, and I will take some footage to share with you guys. I also have the reveal on the landscape makeover video up shortly. So if you haven't subscribed yet, if you could please subscribe and hit the bell notification. That way you won't miss any updates when the videos come out. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.